Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to my channel, Gemini. This is your January 2021 soul story. So if you have a Gemini sun, rising or moon, it may resonate for you. I'd encourage you just to check back throughout the month and see how some of these messages and insights might further create a clearer picture for you in relation to your own path. So let's see what we are opening up with for this month. Okay, we have the energy of the Ten of Pentacles. Nice. I think there is this focus, actually, particularly in the first part as we are working through our Capricorn Earth energy, for you to ground something into reality. You know, it gives us the opportunity to have a tangible manifestation of something, and it feels very much around what it is that it's going to take to help you to feel more secure right now. For some of you, that might mean about your emotional security. For others, it could be very specifically in and around the finances. For some, about what your work, vocation, career, or something that's going on within the family environment. But the 10 suggests that there is this weightiness of the energies and the guides wanting to give you that support and that feeling. And so there's this idea of something turning around in your favor or coming in that helps secure a new level. And this is really interesting because I think as we embark on a brand new year, and we're still very reflective about what the very personal journey we each and every one of us experienced through 2020, and we've had this beautiful upgrade of energy, and we're kind of figuring out, what does that mean? And you know, how have I leveled up? How have I changed? And you know, there's something that comes through very powerfully for you, Gemini, about this new level having been unlocked, okay, and that you're not going to go back. You're not going to go back now, because this 10 for me is securing it. It's anchoring it in place. And so if we look at that new level as perhaps being a new level of confidence, a new level of security, a new level of self-esteem, a new level of authority within yourself, of empowerment, this is what your reality will be from this point forth. So even though there are going to be little trip hazards and tripwires that try to indicate and suggest that you haven't made as much progress as you have, you can rest sure in the knowledge that this is what the guides are showing me, that this is your new level, and that you need to start acting, you need to start expressing yourself, you need to start thinking, communicating, believing that this new level is here to stay, because it is. And I think that's really important by way of what you're going to experience and the way that you experience it through this month of January. Now on the 6th of the month, Mars is moving out of Aries and into Taurus, so that's kind of 12th house energy for you. It will result in a little bit of a slowing down of something, and that could create, 9 of Swords here, maybe a little bit of stress or some doubts or fear and uncertainty arising for you. But remember what I said, this is your new level. This is what's locked in. So don't be tricked into kind of feeling into any false beliefs or being hoodwinked by some of the narratives that come in to suggest otherwise. I think that there's a restlessness that is about your energy that, perhaps sometimes that slowing down can feel kind of difficult because it's going against everything that by nature you are, You want to see that fast, quick movement forward. And so the 9 is also I think almost the overwhelm to a certain degree, that there is just so much that you need to do. There's so much that you want to do. There's so much perhaps at stake in one area or another. And yet there are also, lots of contrasting energies that are perhaps reflecting back to you why it can't be possible, why it isn't possible, why it can't be right now, why it shouldn't be right now. And so you're dealing with all of these kind of multiple conversations coming at you, all with very conflicted points of view. And I think that there are going to be moments when that could just feel a little bit overstimulating, So not only are we having to deal with some of our own doubts being triggered, it's just the sheer kind of overwhelm of the information. I also think there's something to recognize that when we level up and when we realize something about ourselves, like say we give ourselves permission to finally be confident enough to go after what we want, or to, get out of a relationship or start a new relationship, or just make a really fundamental life change. And really 2020 has kind of forced so many of us to wake up and really acknowledge that in some way. There can also be that moment of like, how did I possibly take this long to arrive here? Or why did I let myself stay in that energy for so long? And that can bring about kind of an upheavaling and a disruption in your own energy field as well. And you can be almost maybe a little bit apprehensive. Do I have what it takes to be this new version of myself? Do I have what it takes to keep this level going and to be able to stay in that kind of security? So I think there's an awful lot of what I would call that self-chatter that's kind of swirling around you all the way through January. And I think it's probably going to get even more intense toward the second half, because in that earthy Capricorn, we kind of, it's like it's showing us what it is and we see what we're dealing with. But as we hit mid-month, we've got this Mercury retrograde shadow energy coming in. Of course, Mercury is your ruler. It's turning retrograde on the 30th, but we also have this really powerful Jupiter squaring Uranus and then Mars squaring Uranus from the 17th and the 23rd. And it's bringing us this very extreme, extravagant, kind of unexpected, shocking, sudden turn of events. And even though sometimes those can come in on a really good level, when they are squares, they are causing that friction. It's a clash. So, you know, it might be a clash of ideas. It might be a clash of personalities. It could be a situation that feels really harsh. But ultimately, what I'm seeing here, and I do think, because they just gave me the word dispute there, okay? So there may be some kind of dispute, but what it leads to is this really dynamic kind of unlocking, breaking open, opening up with this energy of the Ace of Cups. So it's necessary, a little bit like the way that we have to apply pressure in order to form or to create the diamond. You know, there's something about that pressure, understanding where it's coming from and why. And even though it may feel harsh, there is a fair aspect to it that is helping you to move forward and really to attain and to anchor in this new level for yourself. Okay, so there's a really powerful methodology, even if it might seem really crazy by the way it's being delivered or how you are experiencing it. Now, the Ace of Cups also suggests that there is this new recognition, I feel, Gemini, recognition for you about what it is that is actually really important and the prioritization of that in your life right now. And maybe that is self-care, the self-nurturing. Maybe it is about finding love. Maybe it is about doing the thing that really inspires you and that you're passionate about. And again, some fears being activated as a result of that. But I'm just going to keep bringing it back to this 10. This is about you leveling up and securing in this new version of reality for yourself. And we don't get here without going through this. Nobody ever obtained, you know, the things in their life without having to go through some difficult challenges or face up to some things within themselves. You know, nothing worth easy is necessarily worth having all the time, but we can, you know, see that the journey that you're going to be on, again, this Emperor energy just locking something in, is really giving you a firm foundation for the future. So there's, you know, aspects of the energy that are coming in January 21 that I think are giving you a really powerful visual on something that can be achieved and part of your journey for the long term. And, you know, that's quite bold to say, but, you know, for some of you that might mean that there's somebody showing up on your path who's going to be around for a long time, or there's a new job that surfaces, new opportunity, a new idea. You know, there's some kind of shift or change in the dynamic of a family. It could be related to property here as I look at the castle in the background. So there's some major change that's coming in on the horizon. Now, your Emperor energy wants you to feel more masterful, wants you to feel more powerful, wants you to feel more confident in who you are, what you have to say, what you have to give. And, you know, based on the experience and the journey that you've already been through, knowing that you can actually find the right strategy to put the right building blocks in place and really create something meaningful here, okay? You are supported here. You're surrounded by people who want to see the best for you. Now, remember what I said, that sometimes there may be aspects of it feeling like there are dispute or pressure from coming in from different areas. And with that Emperor energy, you know, it could be institutional, it could be, you know, something from an authoritative figure, a father figure, it could be a husband, could be a boss. You know, it's that kind of an energy that feels like you don't really have room to move, but at the same time, it's just because of that slight restriction and contraction, I think you're going to be able to break free into something really exceptional for yourself. yourself, you know. But I also really like that he's stepping forward and saying, listen, believe in yourself. You absolutely have what it takes to command your energy this month. And if you can command your energy in this new way, which is exactly what this upgrade of 5D is helping you to achieve, to think differently, to move differently, to feel differently, to act differently, then what we're seeing from that is this burst of fire and this burst of the ability to be able to initiate and make things happen for yourself, you know. Now, the Knight of Wands is also coming in and kind of looking over at this Emperor and feeling like you're the thing in my way. You are in my way. So to a certain extent, perhaps Geminis, we are going to feel through this month of January that there is some major block or wall or closed door that we have to get over or get through. All right. And it might feel like it's an impasse. It might feel like it's insurmountable. And again, this is perhaps why some of this fear is being activated within you. But I don't see that that is what the final outcome is going to be, because there is this aspect of things just turning around and you being able to ground something into reality. Now, remember what I said, this Jupiter squaring Uranus has this very extreme, kind of extravagant and impulsive feel to it. The Knight of Wands has shown up in almost every reading, and I think he's really reflecting what that particular aspect is going to be delivering through January. And it's the only time it's going to happen in 2021, but it is a significant one. And so the fallout of it, because there's going to be some extreme choices and decisions that are made, perhaps from yourself, but also with people around you, that's going to bring some uprest and some, you know, opportunities for some extraordinary things to come in, you know. But it might feel like we have to really just be brave and just kind of go after and see something, even in the face of adversity or of something that feels really impenetrable. It's almost like expect that the miracles are definitely going to be available through this month of January to make something happen that you thought could never happen in a million years. It's got that kind of an energy to it. Now, your Four of Swords has come through. This was in your reading in December as well, Gemini. So there's definitely something, particularly with the Ace of Cups, about making sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your own wants and needs by way of nurturing and tending to that sacred rest, that sacred time for connection, and just giving yourself time away from anything that feels really frenzy or overbearing or overstimulating, okay? And I think this is your little protective cave, you know, and let's face it, out there, the optics and what is happening in and around the world just now can be a very difficult place to focus your attention, and not, you know, wanting to be ignorant to what is the experience of many people. If you are sensitive and empathic, and many of you that watch and tune into the channel are, you know, you are absorbing this information, and it is necessary, vital really, to make sure that you're giving yourself the proper opportunity to clear and to ground and to step back and really charge your own energy field up with that goodness, with that, you know, rest time, because that's what's going to help you to keep going and to be able to withstand some of the kind of contrasting energies that are coming through in the month of January, but also to help you to realize and bring in this tangible manifestation that I think you're right on the edge of bringing to fruition and anchoring in with this new level, you know. Now, interestingly, Venus is going to cross over the point where the Sagittarius eclipse happened. So obviously the north and south nodes with the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse are very, very significant and impacting you, Gemini. And so it's important to note that there's going to be more information that's going to come to light this month that was activated by that Sagittarius eclipse in December, which happened on the 14th, okay? So your Page of Pentacles suggests to me that's information, invitation, news, an opportunity, perhaps some kind of financial transaction, something coming in, though, that is very relevant to what you were experiencing or a theme that was around you. And remember, we're working with this eclipse all the way through 2021, so it's not necessarily the kind of wrapping up of this, but there's definitely more developments that you will hear that is going to help you to make further discerning choices and just feel better equipped, I think, to understand what you need to do. Now, the Hanged One is coming through, and it's not really a surprise in many instances, because I feel, there is still that little bit of a restrictive, held back energy going on in January in the wider collective. But for many of you, again, it's an opportunity to kind of take advantage of the stillness and to actually kind of self-regulate and calibrate your energy a little bit. And specifically with Uranus moving direct in Taurus, also Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, of that energy coming in with Mercury retrograde and then this square with Uranus. What we're going to see is this energy of you just needing to kind of step back from a little bit of the frenzy. And I think that this Hangman is giving you the opportunity to do that. Now, yes, there might be a slight delay or some sense of what initially might feel like a block, but actually ends up opening up really beautifully. I think you're going to be extraordinarily happy about something not happening when you initially wanted it to. Let's put it like that, okay? So something that you had planned or hoped would happen on a certain date or by a certain time and then gets moved or shifted. I think that there is a really beautiful outcome that couldn't have happened if it didn't actually get delayed in the way that it's going to, okay? Something new will emerge by way of information, by way of a connection, by way of an experience. But I'm just getting a pull back to that Ace of Cups. So I just feel it's really important that you stay open-minded and keep your vibration positive and lifted with anything that you feel is being held back. Now, the Hanged Man also wants us to give that beautiful sense of letting go and surrendering into something, okay? And that might just be the way that the energy is moving, There's no point in fighting the natural flow of energy this month. What you want to be doing is just allowing yourself, when you feel inspired, to move with it. When you feel you need to rest, to honor that. When you feel you need to, hustle and start kind of creating things and being open to learning and moving yourself forward. And then when there are times that you just need to allow yourself to be in that position of authority and power, it's like all of these energies are being shown here, but it's the Hanged Man that's kind of really the wise influence that's saying, okay, this is how we work with each one of these different strands of energy to best be able to kind of get the potential out of each and every moment that we're experiencing in January. I think that's really important. Now, it's ruled by Neptune, the Hanged Man, so there is this element of the stillness also unlocking something by way of your imagination, your creativity, that again I think is going to be very valuable and something that you may later, or you may in fact during this month, decide to launch or put out, because the Knight of Wands for me is about the launch and the kind of taking something forward in a really beautiful, big, bold way. And we've got that full moon in Leo coming in, which is into your third house, which is beautiful, of community, of creativity, of the way that you think, and really wanting to kind of explore that and share that. So that energy of the full moon in Leo, very conducive, I think, to helping you with whatever has been unlocked and being able to, again, looking at this tangible manifestation of something coming in, Gemini. Now, your Six of Swords is, again, there's kind of a quietness here. There's a quiet energy that's going on in your reading for January. So even though there is a lot happening and things at times are going to feel very chaotic and crazy, I think the guidance here is about where do you find your still point and that quietness, and making sure that you create time for that. It's going to be really necessary to balance your specific energy out. But, you've had this beautiful rite of passage, but you are being really beautifully guided here as well by the orcas. And these killer whales, they work in pods and they're so tight-knit as a soul family. And it's like, when there are times that you need to rest, let the people who love and support you carry you a while, You have what you need and you are moving. You're in a constant kind of journeying motion right now. And as the North Star, the guiding light, of the eclipse energies is with you, there's that kind of burden. It's not a burden, but it's like the sense of like Gemini is really kind of pioneering and carving out the way forward in many instances through this year. So there are times when you need to just take that moment to rest and allow others to catch up with you, or allow yourself to be held. by the energies and very supportively in that way. It also feels like you're kind of moving away from this mountainous range. So I think you've had a really arduous climb. You know, perhaps that has for some of you been the result of what 2020 delivered, or just something more specific on your own journey. But nonetheless, what it's done is it's really given you so much rich information that has helped create and form this beautiful diamond, to which is forming part of this new level that you have now gotten yourself to. But there might be just an element of needing to catch up and charge up your energy as a result of that. So give yourself January to kind of deal with some of that. And if you're finding your sleep particularly broken with this Knight of Swords, just be very mindful about overstimulation of information. So maybe that requires just a kind of stepping back or quietening down of social media or kind of any other channels, or just anything that's happening too much around the time that you're trying to unwind and move into that more gentle sleep state, just to help support you. The self-care is going to be everything here, you know. From a relationship perspective, there may be a little bit of quietness happening for some of you in and around that aspect of things. Angel of balance coming in, but there is a reason for it. Maybe we just need to allow a situation to receive new energy, or we need to just allow the dissipation of something that has felt very fraught or difficult. But regardless, like, you are being guided quite powerfully either towards or away from people this month, Gemini. So I would really trust in where you naturally feel inclined to want to direct your energy, and that's going to tell you everything that you need to know. Very beautiful clear sky here, and we have the pyramids in the background, and I think there is really important information that has been received by way of these upgrades and the light codes that have come down, and I think it's important that you just take time to understand what's going on with your own individual energy. And of course, the best way to do that, we know, is through meditation. It's through the quiet rituals that you have in your own sacred space, and that's really going to help, I think, you come to terms with any situations that feel difficult, but like we said, are going to lead to, I think, a really dynamic. I mean, what I get as well for this Knight of Wands, it's just like, regardless of what you come up against, I think, you know, I wouldn't really be wanting to go up against a Gemini at this moment in time, because I kind of feel like in many instances, you know, you're at the point where you're either going to say, I've had enough, like, don't push me. If you push me once more, I'm done. And there's also this aspect of you just coming back with like 10 times more energy and just being the most dynamic force to be reckoned with. And it's something quite amazing, you know. So either way, I just feel like, regardless if this Emperor is coming in as a blockage, I think that your mutable air and that ability for you to shapeshift and, you know, be what you need to be in the moment is going to be really helpful. But balancing your own energy is going to be really vital to your own well-being this month. Inner peace, again, it's kind of reflected for you, Gemini. Now we've got the two fish here. They are moving in the same direction, but they are at slightly different points on the journey, you know. Maybe you need to make peace with where you are at in relation to where you want to be, or maybe you need to make peace with where you are in relation to where somebody else is in relation to a relationship, a connection, or something that you're striving for or looking for. The important thing is you're both going in the same direction here, you know. This is not a breaking away. This is a movement forward. It's just that we have to allow things to catch up with themselves a little bit. Again, the fact that they are flowing, they're in the water, there's this beautiful element of emotional stillness and peace. What does it take to find that inner peace? You know, the purple flower here with the yellow linking beautifully with the purple and the yellow flower in the Hanged Man. So again, it's this realization, this beautiful realization that you come to in the month of January, Gemini, what it takes to hold and maintain this kind of a balance for yourself. And that makes a difference to everything. And it could cause you to make some major choices and decisions, but more than anything, it's going to, you know, enable you to secure this new level and lock it in and feel at peace with that, which I think is really important. So This is a general reading. I hope you've enjoyed listening. If you'd like to join me for the extended version, you can find the link for that in the description box underneath the video. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull us some clarifying cards. But in the first instance, I'd like you to just think about a question that perhaps I have not covered in this general. And we will pull a couple of specific cards to look at for you in relation to that. Okay. Alright, so let's just clarify this main reading now, starting with the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, coming in with another Nine of Swords here, so if something's getting you get bound up a little bit. Empress energy. Okay, Empress, Strength and Death coming in here, all major arcana cards. So even though that 9 can be a kind of unwelcome visitor to our storyline, sometimes it's very important because it brings to light, you know, the things that we need to deal with and face. And certainly with all these majors, we know that you're going to be given the guidance and the energies to come in and navigate them. World, beautiful. You see, we're bringing them to a point of completion, fruition here. Sometimes we have to take a step back before we can take a huge leap forward. That might be the case in something. Okay, all these twos coming in, also suggestive of decisions and choices to be made. There's a fire sign showing up here, Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, or certainly somebody that's very visionary and can help you. And maybe this is the way out of some of the more tricky situation that you may be dealing with. We'll explore that a little bit more in your extended reading. Okay, we've got Seven of Swords here, Ace of Swords with this Emperor, Ace of Cups. Wow, these are some really contradictory energies, Gemini. I think you must be dealing with some complex situations through January for sure. I want you to look at it like, you know, with every challenge and block, and with every step that you take that feels like it's a no, there's a yes coming right behind it. That's just what it feels like. So do not be discouraged or put off. Sometimes we just need to assert and try a little bit harder, keep going and keep open-minded, because there's just this feeling of like turnaround, and you might just need to stop and conserve your energy. But you are going to get there. That's nice. Look, Six of Swords and the Six of Swords again. Leaving something behind here. Leaving the stress behind. And the World over the 9. So it's just coming through in another way, but the same message. Okay, Hanged Man again with that inner peace there. Beautiful. Okay, Gemini, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed listening. If you're joining me for the extended, I look forward to continuing this conversation, and I wish you beautiful blessings for this month of January. Take good care. Thanks for being here.